you know. Yeah, Goswami Maharaj once told me, his father told him, you know you're getting old when the baseball players look like little boys, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I say, a man among boys, but now the boys are 25, 26, 27, 30, you know, and it's strange. It's a different generation, this one. They're very, they're different from when I was growing up. When I was growing up, there was no internet, we had the radio. We didn't bring water bottles to the class. Everyone has to bring a backpack, a water bottle, and a cell phone. And I'm always telling them how to accommodate their water bottle, their cell phone, and their backpack. In those days, we drank water from the tap. You know, I don't know, maybe in Ireland you still do, but anyways, if you're trying to tell me that you feel like you're in a university experience, you know, it's like, wow, that's a great compliment. But then again, university isn't really what it's made out to be, you know. I think the greatest university I ever attended was with Srila Prabhupada and Srila Sridhar Maharaj, because he would often say, Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami, he would often say, well, if you read my books, you have more than a PhD. And, what a thing to say, but it's true. If you go carefully through the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita translations of Bhaktivedanta Swami, wow, what an education. You can defeat any scholar in India with that. And, maybe that's a specialized kind of education. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he goes even farther in that, especially our God brothers in the ISKCON mission, they did our best to say, you don't need absolutely anything else but what is written in the book. And that's a point of view. It's interesting. But Srila Sridhar Maharaj taught us how to think outside the box and how to go outside the book and see things in perspective. And that was an even greater education for me because I was, I'm reflecting about what am I going to say this morning? And I was thinking, uh, I'm someone who spent his entire life with his nose in a book. But when I came to Srila Sridhar Maharaj, I realized I'm not educated at all. I don't understand a lot of these things he's saying. It's going over my head. So I had to sit down and educate myself in order to publish the books that we published, like Sri Guru and His Grace. They're full of references to the Bible, the sayings of Jesus Christ, the poetry of John Milton, Shakespeare, Percy, the philosophy of Hegel and Kant, and so much more. And I had to educate myself to be able to understand and represent Srila Sridhar Maharaj's teachings in a way. In another way, I see it's not so necessary. Like Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, in the end, after, you know, carrying all these books of knowledge on my back, I've become something like a beast of burden, like a mudha, an ass. He says this in Sharanagati. I've become an ass. Advai would know. He's translated Sharanagati into Italian. Uh, Bhaktivinoda says, just all this learning it's a waste of my time. Uh, but sometimes you need to become erudite to realize that it's a waste of your time. Like the Buddhists say, before enlightenment, chop wood and carry water, and after enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. So before enlightenment, you don't know anything about the Bhagavatam, the Vedas, the Vedanta, Hegel, Kant. After enlightenment, you realize Hegel, Kant, they're superficial. You don't need to study that. It's a waste of your time. But I took it as my service to try to represent and defend the teachings of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So if somebody comes with Hegel and Kant, I'm prepared. You know, what good is that? I'm not really sure. So chop wood, carry water. Srila Sridhar Maharaj once told the story of a pundit and a fool. And the fool comes to the pundit and he says, I want to become learned. What should I do? And the pundit says, well, you may consider yourself learned when everything that you've read and everything you haven't read is the same. And so the fool goes away and forgets everything he's read. And he comes back and says, well, now I'm learned. Everything that I've read and everything that I haven't read, it's the same. Anyways, but thank you for thank you for your compliment there, Pranashish Prabhu. Like I said, this little talk keeps me alive. I don't want to waste too much of your time with my so-called elucidations, because this may be just nothing more than the offensive rambling and hallucinations of a fool. Anyways, so we're over here with the Sri Guru and His Grace, which we're reading to you, thanks to Suvashini Meenakshi Sundaram and Sevarupa Devi Dasi and Helen over there, Adwai Prabhu, Hare Krishna, hope your cows are fine, and Tungarasa Devi, wherever you may be, and the inimitable Pranashish Prabhu. And I understand Pranashish has a plan. I did this translation of the Premadana Stotram because I felt like it would be nice to have an English version that parallels the music of the original. And he asked me to give a similar treatment to the Dvadashikam for Nityananda Prabhu. And I gave it a shot. I'm not sure if it's any good, but I think I might get into that a little bit later on. So let's read from
Wow.
Sri Guru and His Grace, Omagana Timarandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karati Vachalam, etc. So here we come to a chapter called The Original Guru. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj says the original spiritual master is Nityananda Prabhu. He is the general representation of Guru. In the spiritual world, he is the Guru Tattva principle in the four primary mellows of devotion, excluding the conjugal mellow. In Madhurya Rasa, Baladev's representation is Ananga Manjari, the sister of Radharani. The position of Nityananda is greater than that of Baladev. Why? He's distributing prema, divine love. And what is prema? It is higher than all other achievements. If one can give divine love, then all others must be subordinate to him. If Krishna is subordinate to Mahaprabhu, then of course Balaram is subordinate to Nityananda. They're similar, but when magnanimity is added, Balaram becomes Nityananda. That Balaram who can distribute divine love, who can perform that higher function, has come here as Nityananda. Our foundation must be solid and proper. Then the structure should be erected. Otherwise, the whole thing will go down. Heno Nitai Vine Bhai Radha Krishna Paite Nai. So without Guru Dev, as seen in Nitai, there's no Radha Krishna Paite. Radha Krishna Paite Nai. Heno Nitai Vine Bhai. Without the help of Nityananda, there's no Radha Krishna. We can get a solid foundation. Nityananda, here's the photo. There's the photo of Nityananda. One day, Nityananda Prabhu came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's house in Mayapur. Mahaprabhu's mother, Sachi Devi, and Vishnu Priya Devi, his wife, were also there, as well as other devotees. Suddenly, Nityananda Prabhu arrived, quite naked. Mahaprabhu managed to give him some cloth, and perhaps he was concerned that the devotees might have some misconception about Nityananda Prabhu. So, to prevent this, he asked Nityananda Prabhu for his kopin, his loincloth. He tore it up and distributed it amongst the householders that were present, instructing them, keep a piece of this loincloth as a kavacham, an amulet, and tie that with a thread to your arm or wear it around your neck. Please keep it with you. Then you will be able to achieve sense control very soon. So in the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, especially with Nimai Pandit or Sri Krishna Chaitanya in his time in Navadvip, Nityananda Prabhu showed himself to be a very eccentric kind of person. For this, he's known as an avadut. Avadut means someone who's beyond the ordinary rules and regulations. And he arrived quite naked at the home of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So others might have thought, this man has no sense control. Look at him. How can he do that? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a piece of his kopin, his underwear, or as we say, sports English, his jockstrap. So he's telling the devotees, you're not fit to carry Nityananda Prabhu's jockstrap. You're thinking you have sense control, you know nothing. So you cut that into a little piece and wear that around your neck as protection for your level of sense control. So this is interesting because sometimes you see great devotees doing things that don't make any sense to you, but you have to ask yourself, am I capable of wearing their kopin, as a little protection necklace? Nityananda Prabhu has control of his senses to the extreme degree. He does not know anything of this world. His vairagya, indifference to the world of mundane transaction, is of such a degree that he can appear naked amongst both male and female. Shukadev Goswami was another example. Shukadev Goswami entered the assembly to speak of Krishna and the Bhagavatam, and there was Maharaj Parikshit seated with his ministers. Narada Muni is seated there, but Shukadev Goswami is naked because he had no consciousness of his own particular sexuality. So the grace of Nityananda Prabhu will construct a firm foundation for us. If there is a firm foundation, then we may build a great structure over it. If we have faith in Nityananda, then that faith can bear any amount of weight. it won't betray us. So we don't personally know Nityananda Prabhu, but our connection with Nityananda Prabhu is through Guru Dev. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada has laid stress amongst the Westerners on devotion to Nityananda. That's why in so many ISKCON temples we have Gaur Nitai, because Nityananda is there to help protect us. First, we must get his mercy, just like Jagai and Madai. There's a parallel between Jagai and Madai were alcoholics. So amongst the Western devotees, there's so many problems with sense control, addiction. We try to get the mercy of Gaur Nitai. And afterwards, we can get the mercy of Radha Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu means Radha Krishna. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Krishna, Nahe Anya. So it's another shloka that says there's no distinction between Radha Krishna and Sri Chaitanya. First achieved the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, and then Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and then Sri Radha Govinda. In these three stages, we must raise ourselves up. So devotee asks Sri Ramanuja, says, how does one attain the mercy of Lord Nityananda? And Sri Ramanuja says, one who finds more inclination to serve Gauranga and his dham, his transcendental land and his servants, can get the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. Nityananda is very much kind to one who has some special tendency towards Gaura Leela. So he's telling us here, in a way, Navadvip Dham is even more abundant and rewarding than Vrindavan Dham, because if you have inclination to serve Gauranga, you can get the mercy of Nitai. And without Nitai, you can't get the mercy of Radha and Krishna. Nityananda Prabhu walked from door to door in Bengal saying, take the name of Gauranga. I'll become your servant. You can purchase me if you only take the name of Gauranga. I'll be sold to you without any price or condition. That was his temperament. When Mahaprabhu was in Puri, he sent Nityananda Prabhu to Bengal. At that time he said, without you, I don't find anyone who can spread the holy name of Krishna or devotional service to Krishna in Bengal. They are more engaged in the tantric method and the smriti. They make too much of these trifling things. They're puffed up, thinking that they have finished all knowledge. So Bengal is a very hard field for preaching. Without you, no one will be able to awaken the masses. Separate yourself from the higher castes and approach the masses with the holy name of Krishna. You are the fittest person for this work. Nityananda Prabhu went to Bengal, but without trying to preach the glories of the holy name of Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu began to preach the name of Gauranga. Nityananda Prabhu found that there's some danger of thinking that Krishna's pastimes are very much akin to mundane debauchery, lying and stealing of a degraded soul. Krishna's pastimes are of a highly confidential nature. It is very difficult for the masses to understand the purity of Krishna Lila. So Nityananda Prabhu found it would be difficult to preach Krishna Lila, but he found it would be easy to preach Gaura Lila, where Krishna has come to distribute himself to the public with so much capital in his mind. Gauranga means a dynamo which wants to distribute Krishna, surcharged with the most magnanimous, intensified pity and kindness for the ordinary people, with the greatest affection even for the criminals. Nityananda Prabhu wanted to bring them in connection with Gauranga, for then Krishna Lila would automatically be within their fist. So he began to preach about Gauranga, not Radha Krishna as commanded by Mahaprabhu. So So it could be argued that Nityananda Prabhu violated the order of Sri Gauranga. Interesting. Nityananda Prabhu says, Bhaja Gauranga, Kaha Gauranga, Laha Gauranga Nam. Worship Gauranga, speak only of Gauranga, and chant the name of Gauranga. There's another instance of the relationship between Krishna and Balaram and Gauranga and Nityananda, which is described in the Chaitanya Bhagavat. Excuse me. Sachi Devi had a dream that Krishna and Balaram were sitting on a throne, and Nityananda was fighting with Balaram. Come down from the throne. It is no longer Dwapara Yuga. The age of Kali has come, and my master, Gauranga, must occupy your position on this throne. You come down. Balaram began giving some opposition. No, why should we come down? We have been sitting on this throne for such a long time. Nityananda Prabhu began forcibly taking him down, and Balaram submitted slightly. Nityananda Prabhu said, my master, Gauranga, wants to take the position now. The age for him has come. So Nityananda Prabhu is very partial to Gauranga. He says, Krishna is far off. My Lord is Gauranga. So we must be very grateful to Nityananda Prabhu, for he is our guru. And guru's grace is so important that Raghunath Das Goswami says, oh, Radharani, I want your grace. Without you, I don't want Krishna separately. I never want Krishna without you. That should be the healthy attitude of a devotee. This has been explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Guruvashtakam. Yasya prasada bhagavat prasado jasya prasada nagati kutopi jayang stuvang stasya yashastri sandhyam vande guru Sri Charanaravindam. I bowed down to the lotus feet of Sri Gurudev. By his grace, we achieve the grace of Krishna. Without his grace, we are lost. Therefore, we should always meditate on Sri Gurudev and pray for his mercy. This is the position of Sri Guru, by whose grace we can get everything. We can get the grace of Krishna, and without whose grace we have no other prospect. So it's interesting how the word prasadam here is translated by Srila Sridhar Maharaj as grace. This is the name of our book, Sri Guru and His Grace. In Spanish, we say gracias. So in this way, we must have reverence for He who has given us our first connection with Krishna consciousness. I don't know, I thought I might read a little bit from, because it was just the appearance day of Nityananda Prabhu. So I thought I might read a little bit from this poem. This is the Nityananda Dvarashtakam, composed by His Divine Grace Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. And this has been translated, but as with any text that deserves our attention, we often see many different translations, and with the help of different translations, we may come to get a better idea. So with my apologies to the former translators of this work, I gave this a little try, and I'm going to try to read some of this in honor of Nityananda Prabhu and hope it doesn't bore everybody to tears. But here we are. So this is the Dvadashikam. Dvadasha, like Dvadashi, it means 12. So there's 12 shlokas here. And if you look at this verse carefully, you'll see that what Srila Sridhar Maharaj is putting into his poem here is congruent with, or it coincides with the verses in the Adi Leela that glorify Nityananda Prabhu. He's adding a little bit, but he's following that version. And so he says, Jo Nanta Nanta Vyatrair Niravari Hari Sankirtanam Sangvidate Jo Vadate Daritrim Shirasi Niravadi Kshudra Duli Kaneva Ya Sheshas Chatra Shayasana Vasana Vidhai Sevate Teyadarta Sri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Pradam Tam. Now, the meaning of this is very deep, and these sutras are packed with meaning. So I found it impossible for me to unpack that in the same number of syllables as a translation. So my translation of this runs on a little bit, but here goes. To he who with unlimited manifest and unmanifest mouths utters the divine name of Hari in perfect sonority. To he who holds untold planets upon his thousands of heads, Earth and Venus and Mars, Bur, Bhuva and Satyaloka, and countless planetary globes quivering like so many specks of dust borne upon his serpentine heads. To the first expansion of the infinite, who creates and sustains the divine environment of the spiritual domain with all its paraphernalia from beds and chairs to household items like clothes and umbrellas, to that infinite Lord Anantadev, whose expansions are unlimited, I offer my humble obeisances, for it is he who is none other than the Almighty Nityananda, who descends into this world as Lord and Savior, to bestow the Gaura Krishna avatar upon the poor and worthless souls of Kali Yuga. Worship him, adore him, the eternal Nitai. Worship his holy feet forever. Then here's the same idea. It's the same verse. I'm giving it a little different translation because I was trying to stick more to the Sanskrit. It's the same shloka. Yo nanto nanta vyaktair niravari hari sankirtanam sangvidhate. So he's talking about Ananta and Sankirtan. See, Ananta's countless heads chant from beyond eternal Harinam and Sankirtan. Nityananda's almighty Ananta Dev, sustainer of the universal wave, who serves the perfect Lord in each detail in all of his regalia without fail, supplying even lavish seats and bed where God himself may rest his holy head. O heart, do bhajan, worship Nitai Chant, who as Anantadev acts from beyond to hold the cosmos in ethereal coils, and bears this mortal earth with all its toils as if a tiny mustard seed oppressed one of his 1,000 heads from heaven blessed, as all the while his untold mouths endeavor to chant the holy names of God forever. Worship then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. All hail the moon, Nitai, who gave us Gaur, the avatar of Krishna, Gaur, gold as ore. And then comes the second verse. Each one of these verses ends with the line, Sri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Pradam Tam. So he's saying, worship Sri Chaitanya, Sri Nityananda Chandra, who's always giving Gaura Chandra. Angshaya Kshirashaya Shakala Bhuvanapa Sarva Jivantarashto Jova Garbo Dashai Dasa Shatavadano Veda Shuktar Vihita Brahmanda Shesha Garbha Prakriti Pati Patir Jiva Sanghashrayanga Sri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Pradam Tam. Listen, while he is by himself and for himself, the infinite absolute expands himself infinitely. Listen. Beyond the infinite expansions of divinity that maintain and occupy the spiritual domains of Goloka, Mathura, Dwarka, and Ayodhya are the multi-universes of Vaikuntha, spiritual planets ruled by infinite Vishnu forms. Those divine entities are known as Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Aniruddha, and Pradyumna. Listen. To fully grasp the Nityananda conception, we must understand the position of the infinite and how the infinite expands. The first expansion of Anantadev we have seen. Infinite divided by infinite is infinite. If Anantadev is the first expression of the Lord, a further expansion of that Anantadev is known as Mahavishnu, the supreme God of universes. Now, the creation. That Mahavishnu lies beyond the Milky Way. There, countless universes emanate from his misty glance. That glance is known as Shambhu. A myriad of souls shower forth his undifferentiated consciousness from his twilight glance, impregnating the dark energy of this material universe. The combination of penetrative glance and shadow potency, that seed of conscious life or holy lingam, enfolds within the yoni, matter's sheath of all material components, and mixed with space and time, velocity, concentrates and singularity, evolved within mortal relativity and thus creates 14 dimensions, from subtle, nearly egoless, satyalok, to conscious realms of ego, mind, awareness, sentience, raw and simple being, heavenly planes of higher consciousness, mental planes of moonlight, lunacy, earthly worlds of passion and distress, and hellish worlds of darkness and ignorance, known as Bhur, Bhuvan, Satyaloka, with their myriad divisions in time and space. And since the infinite Lord has countless avatars, we conceive of him with countless heads and eyes and thousands of arms and feet and toes and fingers. This hierarchy is given in Brahma Samhita. And also in Kaviraj, we see the following description. The thousand-headed Vishnu is the master of the Dakshai, first Karana, or Mahavishnu he is called, Lord and master of all created universes, as we have detailed above. By this glance, the universe is pregnated and populated with souls, his living entity. Second, Garbhodakshai, in whose womb the universe is sheltered with all its far-flung galaxies. And at last, the Paramatma, Kshirodakshai, the Oversoul who guides us from the heart. And thus it is, in poetry, we say, Godhead, Sri Krishna, infinite supreme, expands as Mahavishnu, who in dream envisions worlds and brings them into being simply by visions, Maya overseeing. And from his sight, the cosmos without end evolves, where spirit, time, and matter blend. God animates the worlds with holy breath. Residing deep within this world of death is Paramatma, supersoul within, to guide us to the light away from sin. Karnodaksha is Mahavishnu's name. Kshirodaksha and Paramatma are the same. As God beyond and God within, they reign, while Garbhodaksha rules this vast domain. And so the infinite expands threefold. Three Vishnus keep the world within their hold: the overseeing God, who dreams our being, the inner dwelling Lord within, all-seeing, and God himself, maintainer of creation. Three Vishnus who may guide us toward salvation are embodied in Nitai, who gave us Gaur, the golden Krishna whom we all adore. Three Vishnus are as one in Sri Nitai, Garbo, Kshira, and Karno Dakshai. Worship then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. Well, this continues. I don't want to read too much because I run the risk of putting everyone to sleep or making people think this is somehow some strange ego trip that I'm on. But I'm really trying to give credence here to Srila Sridhar Maharaj's personal explanation of Nityananda Prabhu. And you can see that he's incorporating in his Sanskrit line the vision of Kaviraj Goswami. If you read the first few bits of the Adi Leela of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, this is all given there. But I'm trying to put it in sort of a poetic form. So if you like, I can continue. Or shall I stop here? Okay, I'll read a little bit more.
Yes.
This is a little literary project I'm working on with His Grace Shriman Pranashish Prabhu, who's kindly encouraged me. So if there's any atheism or heresy here, I attribute it to him. I'll continue then. Here we are. This is the third shloka in the Dwadashikam. So he's talking about angsha, or vyuha. And these are different ideas about expansion. As it's given in the Ishopanishad, Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam. And the word purna means complete. So it's translated that if you divide the complete, it remains complete. But it's a reference to divinity. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he used to say, infinite divided by infinite, it's still infinite. And this is the seed idea behind these angshas or expansions. So it goes, Yasyangsho vyuha madhye vilasati paramavyomni sankarshanakya atanvan shrudha sattva nikila harisukam chetanam lilayacha jiva hankara bhava spada iti katita kutrajij jivavad yaha Sri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Param Tam. So that's the punchline coming at the end. Again, he says to Sri Nityananda Chandra Bhaja Bhaja Satatam, we always worship. You always worship Gaura Krishna Param Tam. He gave you Gaura Krishna. So here we go. His divine angsha expansion, Sankarshan, center of the Vyuha, form from whom all other divine forms expand. And why? To increase the sweet happiness of the Absolute in the spirit realm of pure and blissful soul, to augment the bliss of Hari's pleasure pastimes. The infinite expands infinitely. And to accompany the fallen souls within this material world, he manifests his divine activities, appearing as an ordinary man. The highest aspect of our spiritual home is called Vrindavan Dham, the Paravyom. And there Sankarsha, Nityananda dwells above this universe of deathly hells, and transcendental spheres beyond, above this mortal realm, are worlds of perfect love, pure truth, pure consciousness, and ecstasy, where Hari's happiness is all that be, where he is by himself and for himself. Yet Nityananda's his right arm to help. There, Nityananda rules as Sankarshan, primary lord within the four as one, the Chaturvyuha expansions of our Lord, as Kaviraj explained in Scripture's word. He enhances by his present Hari's bliss within that conscious plane beyond the abyss. While in this temporal world, he saves lost souls, where we're ensconced in ego. He sometimes goes in human form to play as humans do. Divinity, well hidden from our view, Almighty Nityananda gave us Gaur, the golden Krishna whom we all adore. Worship then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. O heart, do bhajan, worship Sri Nitai, the moon-like one who gave us Sri Nimai. Yaschari vyuka madhye prabhavati sagano mula sankarshanakyo Dwaravatyam tarurde madhu purivasati pravavakyo vilasaha sarvam shri rama nama vrajapuri ramate sanujo yakswarupe Shri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Pradam Tam. Again, from the Chaturvyuha fourfold forms of God, he rules over all divine realms, beginning with Goloka, then Mathura, Dwarka, Ayodhya, and all the planets of Vaikuntha. Begin with Balaram, and you will know his purpose, to justify the ways of God to all. In Mathura, he unfolds his Leela in Prabhava Vilas, Balaram, who plays with his younger brother in Vrajapuri. Again, among the fourfold forms of God, he is root, Sankarshan. Then three others follow suit. Above these forms and avatars, we find pastimes in Dwarka, sweet Mathur divine, and higher than even Madhupuri Dham. In Braj, he's Krishna's brother, Balaram. O heart, forever bhajan Sri Nitai, the moon-like one who gives us Sri Nimai. Shri Krishna Prema Nama Parama Sukhamaya Kopya Chinta Padarto Yad Gandat Sajjanoga Nigama Bahumatam Moksham Apyakshipanti Kaivalya Shwara Seva Pradagana Iti Yasyangata Premadatu Sri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Param Tam. Krishna Prem's prime bliss, beyond belief, holds rare import. Its hint gives us relief from phantoms of samadhi and the one, the Vedic moksha. Holy saints will shun this shadow goal of oneness with just a taste of prem, where its aroma, oneness, is disgraced. His Vishnu forms bestow a taste in awe and reverence, but Nitai is above the law. Mercy is above law, beauty above might. Krishna is beyond even Lakshmi Devi's sight. But Nityananda, with the holy name, bestows upon all souls the highest prayer. Almighty Nityananda gave us Gaur, the golden Krishna, whom we all adore. Worship then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. O heart, do bhajan, worship Sri Nitai, the moon-like one who gave us Sri Nimai. Yo balye lila yaika parama madhuraya chaika chakra nagaryam mata pitro janana mata nija suhridam hladayam chita chakram tirtan vabrana sarvana Parita Janako Nyasina Partiras Cha Srinityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Param Tam in Eka Chakra, his sweet childhood play made his mother and all his family gay. To Hadai's grief, a pilgrim came one day, a sannyasi, who took the boy away. He traveled with the saint both here and there, to India's holy places everywhere, worshipped then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. Brahman Chatirtan Jati Mukutamani Madhavendra Prasangat Labdolasa Pratiksha Prakatita Charitam Gora Dhamma Jagama Sri Gora Nivasa Srinivasa Bidir Api Jamavapalaya Nandanasya Srinityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Paramtam. On pilgrimage to shrine and sacred town, he chanced to meet the jewel in the crown of triple staff sannyasis, holy men, and Madhavendra Puri took him in. With Madhavendra's Sangha, he became intoxicated with the holy name. That saint blessed him with his proximity, and soon Nitai showed signs of ecstasy. He glowed with love divine and sojourned on until he reached Gauranga's holy dham. To Nandacharya's place Nitai did roam, where Srivas awaited Gaura's coming home, along with friends, well-wishers who had heard that he had come to spread the holy word, and so arrived there, Nityananda Chand, to launch the movement of Nam Sankirtan. O heart, do bhajan, worship Nityananda, the moon-like one who gave us Gaura Chand. Prapta Gyo Gaura Chandra Dakila Jana Ganudhara Nama Pradane Ya Prapya Dvo Surapo Kali Kalusha Hatto Brataro Brahma Daityo Kara Prema Prakashai Kritarudira Vapush Chati Taj Ujahara Srinatyananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Prarantam. He heard from Gaura Chandra of the name and the transcendental power of the same. The order to deliver fallen souls was one of Nityananda's holy goals. Thus, inspired by Gaura, the greatest Lord, Srinitai swore to undertake his word and spread the name of Hari far and wide. He traveled with Gauranga at his side until they chanced upon the twice-born twins, Jagai and Madhai, fallen into sins and drunkenness, perversion, violent ends. Srinityananda spoke to them as friends, and yet these demon brothers, Brahmin-born, attacked Nitai as enemies forsworn. He came to them to save them from their need, and in return those rascals made him bleed. A broken wine jar crashed upon his head. Devotees saw him fall. Was Nitai dead? And lo, Gauranga came upon the scene, enraged with these villains low and mean. He held the chakra high to strike them dead. With this Nitai revived, and mercy pled. If you destroyed these sinners in your rage, how are we saving sinners in this age? We know that Kali Yuga is the time when all the laws are broken, all sublime and sacred truths are lost or laid aside, when saints are mocked, when sin is glorified. But where is love? And where doth mercy lie if sadhus sentence fools like these to die? Let us save the darkened soul of brother Jagai, and let Krishna's holy name bless brother Madha. And with extreme compassion from above, Nitai delivered them with holy love and caused Gaurangadev to do the same, delivering thus great sinners with the name of Krishna, as he promised he would do. In vow to Gaur, Nitai was always true. Almighty Nityananda gave us Gaur, the golden Krishna whom we all adore. O heart, do bhajan, worship Nityananda, the moon-like one who gave us Gaura Chand. Worship then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. Well, there's only 3 more verses left, but I don't want to push my luck here. This is a bit long, but our purpose here is to try to defend the version of Srila Sri Ramaraj and Sri Guru and his grace. And his theme in this chapter was the importance of Nitai as Guru, that all guruship or guruhood, Guru Tattva, really flows from Nityananda Prabhu. So if it's not a terrible bother to you all, I'll try to continue this and we'll have some sort of a recording of this, even if it never gets published. So I'll continue with the final 3 verses of the Devadashikam, written by His Divine Grace Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Goswami. Sakshad Goro Gananam Shirasi Yad Avadutasya Kopinakandam Sangdartum Chadi Desha Sava Yavanavadus Krishna Drishto Pibanya Pramadyanam Apiti Prabhu Bhariritakanam Api Shrishta Pita Sri Nityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Prarantam. Then Gaur himself told friends and multitudes, worship Nitai. He's king of Avaduts. He may not follow rituals and rules. He may consort with prostitutes and fools and joke with killers, wine sellers, and bawds, and yet he's worshipped even by the gods. Brahma, who creates the 14 worlds above, the mystic lotus, worships him with love. The thunder god, enthroned on ruby seat in heaven, worships at his holy feet. With any luck, you'll find a ragged thread from his torn loincloth. Hold that on thine head. I beg thee, if thee think thine self devout, to wear that thread as pearls around thine throat. He is the best of all of ye, I say. It is to Nitai Chand that ye must pray. So spake Gaur to the inmost of his clan, as gods do. Worship Nityananda Chand. Almighty Nityananda gave us Gaur, the golden Krishna whom we all adore. O heart, do bhajan, worship Nityananda, the moon-like one who gave us Gaura Chand. Worship then the moon of Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. Udatum Jnana Karmarya Pahat Charitam Gaura Chandro Jaraso Nyasam Kritbatu Maya Mriga Manusritavan Grahayan Krishna Nama Touch Chayevan Vadavat Stalajana Gahane Yopis Tashyeshta Cheshta Srinityananda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishnam Paramtam. In order to deliver us from evil, from karma's exploitation or reprieval, deliver us from black and sinful action, barbarous deeds and worsening reaction, to save us all from cognitive decline of twisted gyan, where soul is lost in mind, and mind's ensnared in endless speculation, driven to a false renunciation. To save us from the darkness he denounced, Gaurachandra took sannyas. The Lord renounced all hope of riches, fame, and his good wife, to lead a holy, wandering, saintly life, to give the holy name, was his call, to spread the holy name and thus save all. And in this life of hardship, Gor's steadfast Nitai was like the shadow that he cast beside the Lord in jungles, swamps, and sand. Nitai stood by the Lord at his right hand. Give honor then, worship that Nitai Chand who gave Gauranga to this fallen land. Shri Radha Prema Lupto Divasa Nishitada Svara Matai Kalilo Gauradyan Chari Desha Svaparikara Britam Krishna Nama Paratum Gaure Bharam Dado Yashubhaga Ganadanam Gaura Nama Prakama Srinatinanda Chandram Bhaja Bhaja Satatam Gaura Krishna Pradamtam. And when the mission reached its true zenith, Gauranga ordered Nitai to succeed him in preaching perfect kirtan through the land and teaching Harinam to every man and woman, teaching all to call from Kanyakumari to East Bengal upon Krishna's name, to meditate, as Gaur himself retired to contemplate the sweetest love divine in Radha's heart, a love beyond all secrets and all art, intoxicated so by Krishna Prem. Gaur told Nitai to preach the holy name. And so it was that Nityananda's band of followers moved and preached throughout the land of greenest Gauda, with Nitai himself freely giving out that highest wealth, the golden treasure of Sri Krishna Prem that's found by those who take the holy name. Adore and worship that Lord Nitai Chand, who gave Gauranga's mission to this land. Sri Radha Krishna Leela Rasa Madhura, Sudhasvada Shuddhaikamurto, Gaure Shradham Dridham Bo Prabhu, Parikara Sangrat, Prahich Chadhaname Smin, Ulang Yangrim Hiyas Yaikila Bhajana, Kata Swapna Vacha Chaiva Mitya Sri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanandam Gauradam Tam Bhajaham. The purest form of worship, Sri Radha Krishna Rasalila, is embodied in him, the Nityananda moon. O Dayal Nitai, Lord of those who follow Sri Chaitanya, O merciful Nitai, give this fallen soul some faith. Bestow upon me firm and faithful devotion, Sri Gauranga, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Without his mercy, all is lost. By leaving aside the lotus feet of Nitai, all sadhana is an illusion. Bhajan, a forlorn dream. I worship and adore with all my heart he who gives Sri Gaur, the shelter of the fallen, Sri Nityananda Chandra. Adore and worship that Lord Nitai Chand who gave Gauranga's mission to this land. So you can see reflected in this short poem by Srila Sridhar that I, in my awkwardness, wound up extending a bit longer. But you'll see reflected in there the teachings of Bhaktivinoda Thakur and also the bhajan songs of Narottam Das Thakur from his Prarthana. So Srila Sridhar Maharaj's poetry is not inventing something that is not known or understood about Nitai, but he's bringing it all together in one source and imbuing it with his own particular inspiration. And I tried to follow. So that's all I have for this morning. The next chapter in the book is the next aspect moves on to discuss more about our perception of Guru, our relationship with the Guru, and service and other points. But I thought it might be nice, given that we just celebrated the Divine Appearance Day of Sri Nityananda Prabhu, it might be nice to reflect on the position of Nityananda. And it's curious, too, that if you look at Sri Guru and His Grace, the aspects of Nityananda that Srila Sri Ramakrishna centers on in that text are the same as what he says in his 12-line Sanskrit poem. So
Yeah, that was beautiful, Mahayogi Prabhu. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
that's
So
all I can say today. Thank you. If there was any divine flow there at all, we hope it and pray that it was coming from you all and nothing of my own particular wild speculation and invention. So thank you all very much this morning, and we hope to see you all next week. And if you found that interesting, that reading, I think our Pranashish Prabhu is trying to prepare that as a publication, eliminating mistakes and errors and so on. So, Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. And I'll leave it there. Hare Krishna.
done well. And we have a question. Oh, it's disappeared already. Okay, maybe we can discuss that next week. Yes, okay. Right. Dandavats, everyone. Dandavats. Thank you for joining. Yeah, thank you.